Hi, I'm Neat.
I'm Rox.
And this is The Bourbon Barrel. And this is our first recording session of 2023. So for those of you that made it, Happy New Year. For those of you that, I don't know how time works. Yeah. No, you're all here.
For those of you who didn't make it, rest in peace.
That's weird. Didn't really work that one through in my head before I said it.
Okay.
I've been sleeping.
I don't think people expect that of us, that we work too much through in our heads before we do stuff, so it's okay.
Today we're gonna start the year off right with some kind of unicorn-esque bottles that are a little more difficult to find. I actually had 2 bottles of Blood Oath because my buddy Buffalo up in Buffalo was like, hey, there's this store that has them for like 200 bottles. I'm like, it's $130, $140 MSRP.
A little bit of a jack up.
It's a little bit priced, but I had some Christmas bonus money. It's like, I'm not going to get another bottle of this. So sure, bite the bullet. Here's the money. Let's do this.
Hell yeah.
And then, lo and behold, I get a call from our local store. Hey, got a bottle of Blood Oath for you. $135. Sweet. So
Again,
I got 2 bottles.
Slightly that maybe larger city thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've seen movies, I've seen shows and stuff where people will show pictures, or even on just the groups where those people will be trying to sell it in bigger cities for 1,000,
Yeah.
800, like just real truly price gouging. That kind of sounds like they didn't really go too overboard,
Right.
but we're like, we need to make a profit. Our business needs to stay in business.
Sure, understood.
So I don't.
And with everything going on with like how much they have to pay for snow removal, I'm sure they.
In Buffalo, yeah, it's true. What they had to do to get it there, like whoever.
Well, this was before all of that.
Oh, okay.
The bottle was bought in like, I don't know, November-ish.
And this is an annual release, as is this one. They just do 1 a year of this and this.
And wow, holy crap!
It's early. It's early. We're day drinkers.
So Rox was actually able to get his hands on the Midwinter Night Dram.
Yeah, that was just luck of the draw. I stopped at our smallest liquor store that we have in this area, literally probably the size of your bedroom, and he just had one on the shelf. And he said the guy just delivered 3 or 4 of them total, all they got, like an hour before I got there. And I had no idea. And I was like, well, I have to get it. I can't say no to this. Right. I immediately was texting him, like, was this a good price? And he texted me back, yes, that's good. It was $129. And then I talked to the owner of the store later on afterwards, like this past week, and he said some other guy came in and bought the last 2. I think there were 3 and the other guy bought 2, or there were 4 and somebody else got in there too. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, just luck. This was just luck of the draw. I hadn't been on a list or anything. I was just like, I can't believe this is sitting on their shelf.
Right. Yeah, usually that's allocated like everywhere.
Yeah, it was just a luck of the draw thing.
But yeah, so we were actually fortunate enough to come across these in our travels over the last month or so.
And we've opened both of them separately. He's tried his and I've tried mine with some friends. Because bourbon and friends. Yeah. That's what you do. You know what I mean?
And so I didn't think I'd get one of these, so I opened it up for the robes, as they are. And some of them enjoyed it. I honestly thought there was a lot going on and it should really be left to open up. So
fair enough.
With that being said, we should probably open it up.
There you go. And I did similar. I on Christmas Eve opened this up with my friend Hollywood, who's been helping us out with some stuff that he's found. He actually texted me the other day and said, and I was working, so I didn't get back to him quick enough. Also, I'm using a glass my wife bought me. I don't know if you could see this very well. I know that it's a glass and there's a thing. It says, "To Dad from the reasons you drink," meaning my wife and children. So I thought that was hilarious. And she kind of knocked it out of the park for Christmas this year. So as far as that goes, she got me a t-shirt that says whiskey. She got me half of a barrel head that somebody made on Etsy. And you could see the other side of the barrel head is charred. And it's like, on the front of it, they had put a quote from Mark Twain about good whiskey. There's not enough. I'm quoting it. You know what I mean? I'll probably put a picture on Facebook at some point. I still haven't done that. But on the Facebook Bourbon Barrel page. But anyway, very cool. Nonetheless and notwithstanding. So
this is packed 8.
Packed 8. Yep.
So they're up to 8 now because it's an annual release.
Yep.
It's always 98.6 proof because blood, 98.6 degrees.
Right.
Human body
98 degrees. That's my favorite band.
I know. That Nick Lachey. Is that his name? Did I get it right?
I think you got it right.
Wow.
Yeah. I was gonna pretend like I remembered some of the song lyrics, but I think that there was only one song I ever remembered, and I don't remember what that is.
I couldn't tell you. But so with each pack they do something a little different, and this one they aged with. There's 3 different bourbons in it. If I can find it,
it's 8, 11, and 14.
8, 11. Thank you.
8, 11, and 14.
It's always so hard to read the front of this thing because it's like the tiniest print and it's all in cursive. So kids that are like in their 20s probably can't read it because they did away with
it looks like you're reading the Constitution. That's what it looks like.
I have read the Constitution, sir.
Like
it's
the original
far more
one
legible.
From the beginning. Like,
far more legible.
Like,
so you have the 14-year-old that has like a butterscotch and chocolate hint, I guess. An 11-year-old that has a sweet and spicy nose of vanilla and cinnamon. And lastly, an 8-year-old that was finished in Calvados casks. Now, Calvados is kind of like a hard... It's like a hard cider.
Okay.
Like it's done with apples.
Right.
But it's like way more than a hard cider. It's like a lot... It's more of a like liquor than it is like a cider.
Right.
So that's what a Calvado is. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either, and I just found that out last night when I looked it up.
I actually found that out from the store owner who got me the bottle. So very cool.
It said apple and pear brandies, and that's why the label is green for this pack for you to know it's apple and pear brandy. Is what I think Jason from the Mash and Draw was saying.
Interesting.
Part of the reason this is called Blood Oath too, he says, is the master distiller John Rempe swears never to reveal his recipe of any blood oath that ever comes out. As far as what's in which mash bill he puts in these.
Yeah, as far as like...
So that's his oath. And so not only do we have similar price points on MSRPs, right?
Yep.
Both once a year releases, both 98.6. I thought, well, that's pretty cool. Like, that makes an interesting show.
Yeah.
The big difference is this is rye. This is not. It did not. Now, and that, when I opened this, and I had a very similar experience with Hollywood, as he's saying with the robes, although he articulated it better because he said, and I should have thought of that, like it probably needs to open up. But when we opened it, I was like, wow, that's hot for 98.6. We were talking, it was Christmas Eve. I didn't read the bottle. I wasn't paying attention to everything. I didn't realize it was 95% rye, 5% barley. At that point, had I thought of that, I'd been like, oh, this tastes like it should.
This makes sense now.
Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. And this is the 8th version of this, and this is the 10th version of this. So again, there's so many similarities, except the rye versus the bourbon.
Fair enough. And the Blood Oath I saw on the back is a Lux Row product.
Right, the one that got bought out or merged with MGP in 2021. And it's their biggest release every year of Luxco, Lux Row, whatever. But again, now it's MGP owning it, so I don't know if is it now their biggest offering every year from MGP as far as what they put out themselves. What's the other one? It's Remus, right? That's the other flagship MGP bottle or whatever.
Which I did not enjoy when we had it.
I don't recall either. Yeah, I remember going up against Blanton's, and I don't think it was great.
It was not the best. But yeah, so that's where we stand with this.
Absolutely. And you've had this, but now you're reopening it. And I've never had
this has been open for probably 3 or 4 weeks at this point.
Right. It's got a pleasant nose.
Yeah, it should. It's got that caramel, vanilla, all those.
I was trying to get that light fruit thing, see if I got the apple or the pear, but
I pick up more of almost like a citrusy, like an orange, but
yeah. I don't know.
Which would be weird with apple and pear notes, but
true.
I don't know. I get like the most subtle hint of apple, I feel like, in the nose.
Jason said something about it's ginger ale-like in the way that it drinks with its effervescence. No, that's not my words. That's why I'm not trying to be fancy, but I don't know. We got to give it a shot and see what happens, I suppose. But it's got a good smell. It's certainly not overwhelming like
there's ethanol. Not ethanol. Yeah, this is blended well just as far as the nose is concerned.
Yeah, and 98.6, and it's a bourbon, not a rye, and all that.
I understand it's like a kitschy thing, like we're gonna put it down to 98.6 because blood.
Right.
But I'm wondering if that is really the most like optimal proof point for this.
Right.
Because I know that the blenders we speak to,
Right.
like Jesse.
Right.
They do things to the proof they taste the best, and this is like always and constantly 98.6. So
right.
And I understand that's a little kitschy thing, so we'll see.
It's also kitschy to not reveal your thing, to call it the oath and never and all that stuff.
I'm just wondering, like, maybe this comes out of the barrel at like 110, and they put that much water in to bring it down, and I don't know.
Well, I mean, if there's 3 of them, they all got to come out of the barrel at something, and then you got 3 different, and then we don't know how much of which either. We don't know if it's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 of these different bourbons. But again, if he's never going to reveal any more than this, that's what we've got to go on. So
yeah.
I don't know. I know that the people I watched do the review of this last night liked this one more than the year before's. Every single one liked the 8 more than the 7 for whatever reason. They didn't completely crap on the 7, but they were like, this one I'm more into than I was the 7. So,
I don't think I had the 7. I had the 6, I think.
I've never had Blood Oath before in my life, to my knowledge.
Yeah, it's always so hard to get, so.
Yeah. It gets a great presentation. It's a beautiful box. All that stuff. It's awesome. Nice. Yeah. So they do a hell of a job there.
I mean, it's got the whole little like coffin kind of.
Right. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So it's yeah, and it's obviously the other ones that they make are Rebel and Ezra Brooks. Are a couple of the Luxco brands, kind of. If people are wondering, they do their. I saw a Rebel 10-year at one of our local stores. They had 1 bottle of it, and I'd never seen it before. But it was $100. It was right around Christmas time, so obviously I did not buy it. But Rebel you can get anywhere. Like,
did I just see a 17-year on the shelf?
Maybe.
Was that? Yeah. I don't know if that was Rebel. I don't remember what it was, but it was like $250 for
Rebel that they changed from Rebel Yell so people weren't offended and stuff.
Which I don't understand nor care about. So
I kept a bottle of Rebel Yell that I found on the shelf and just tuck it away in my basement. So I'm like, well, that'll be worth a lot more in another 20 years. Like the collector in me was like, well, that's cool, maybe like. I don't know. I'm not saying anything about the Rebel Yell or any of that. I'm just saying, like, if the collector and you sees that, like, I just heard that Matthew McConaughey has left Wild Turkey.
Ooh.
He is no longer part of that. So if you have a bottle of Long Branch and you just want to tuck it away somewhere 5 or 10 years from now, that might be worth something more because he's done doing that now. So anyway, nonetheless, let's give it a shot and see what happens. It's not a heavy burn by any means.
No. I do pick up the bubbly that he was speaking about.
It does have that kind of, lighter, almost winey, not winey, like you know what I mean, like wine. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. I don't know. I'm picking up the fruity.
Yeah, it's a very light,
at the back.
I can almost, I feel more pear and apple drinking it than I did snub.
Yes. Definitely getting a warmth in the throat, so that's not bad.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's not bad. Flavor profile's there. This is not something I would recommend starting out with as your first option. As far as like bourbons,
maybe it wouldn't be bad for your first like limited edition when you're trying to get something fancier and get a little bit up there because it's a lighter. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna you're not jumping to barrel proof Bookers or something.
Yeah, like there's not gonna be that.
But this is pretty tasty though.
Yeah, no,
this is good.
There's a lot of nuance going on with the blending that happened. So I'm assuming that if you're new to the hobby, this is probably going to be lost on you. But if you've been around a while, this is probably going to be something you'd be like, okay, yeah.
Yep,
nice.
I totally agree. Yeah, 100%. Excellent way to put that.
Not to say that we're snobs. I mean, if you're brand new and you want to go out and buy it, no one's stopping you except for the amount of stuff on the shelf that you could find.
You got to get on a list to know somebody, yeah. Or if you're going to pay over what it's worth. So
yep.
I've never seen one on a shelf. Never. No. Not even in a glass case. I've never seen it like that. So,
glass case of emotion. So do you think that Matthew McConaughey left Wild Turkey because Cadillac was like, you can't drink and drive?
Who?
Doesn't he do the commercials
Cadillac? Cadillac. Oh my God, Cadillac. I thought you said Cal something, and I was like, is he talking about Star Wars? Because I don't know.
No, Cadillac, the car company that he also sponsors.
Maybe he wants to run for governor or something. He's talked about political aspirations before. Maybe once they get off of out of the...
If you can get Governor Schwarzenegger in California, you could probably get Governor McConaughey in friggin'
Texas.
Is that where it is?
Yeah.
I was thinking Arizona or New Mexico, but maybe Texas.
He just spoke in front of, not Congress, but like in front of something like at the White House when he was upset about kids dying and Uvalde and stuff. You know, and he made a big old passionate speech too. He was like hitting things and yeah.
I've watched Mussolini give speeches too.
That's right. He was not a nice guy, I heard. I don't know.
There's an episode of The Office where Jim gives Dwight all these tips on how to give a public speech because he's nervous.
Right.
And he basically like goes through like the biggest dictators of like any country, like your Hitlers, your Mussolinis, your Stalins, your Lenins.
Right.
And he like gives them all these like different pointers from those speeches.
Right.
And Dwight's eating it all up, and so he goes, he's nervous, and he finally gets up and he gives this speech. And he starts hitting the podium and just like, like giving like these large like
like Sig Heil.
Yeah, just real bad stuff. And the entire audience is eating it up and like eating out of the palm of his hand, and he's just like,
that's terrific.
It's so funny.
That's great. I'll have to watch that one. That's another thing I gotta watch is The Office. I know I'll like The Office. I'm almost done with Cheers. I've been working through things, so I'm almost done with Cheers.
So, I have a question about Cheers for you.
Okay, I'm not sure I'll know the answer, but I haven't done a lot of research on it, per se.
Sam, the actor who plays Sam.
Ted Danson.
Yes.
Okay.
How does someone who's that ugly get a TV show?
Wow. I don't know the answer to that. He was a sex symbol in the whole show, too.
I don't get that, dude.
Absolute sex symbol.
He's got like the most Cro-Magnon looking forehead I've ever seen.
He was, and he's what kills me is that it's not a mullet because it's not long, but that hair helmet thing he does.
Yeah.
Mind you, we're talking the 80s and
like,
into the early 90s.
Early 80s, like that was 79, I think.
Yeah, something like that. It ran into the 90s.
Yeah, there was like
older.
12 seasons or something though.
And then it goes right into Frasier, which I think actually gets better because I've watched all of Frasier and I'm almost done with Cheers, so I might kick back into Frasier again. I've watched it once.
Nice.
But it was, yeah.
I
don't know.
I don't understand any of that.
He was also 3 Men and a Baby, where they were all sex symbols at that time.
Which
like
also
him,
makes no
Tom
sense.
Selleck and Steve Guttenberg.
Guttenberg, who fell off the, he just like
Police Academy.
I think what happened with Steve Guttenberg was he just said, you know what, I have enough money and I'm gonna retire because people don't want to see my face anymore.
Right. Oh no. You know what he's in? He's in a lot of those like Sharknado movies now.
Of course.
We every once in a while, my family and I will click on some of those for fun for like 15 minutes to see how bad it is. And it's like Tarantulasaurus or something, you know, some crazy stupid. And then there's Steve Guttenberg running away from terrible VFX like behind you that you could.
But
make
at least
on
the
your
sound
phone.
quality is good for the VFX because he brought the guy with him from Police Academy, right?
He did, yes. The guy, yeah. Michael Winslow, yes. That makes the noises with his mouth. Well, by the way, he still does it well. I mean, you can't say he doesn't, but it's so, yeah.
I'm wondering, so you know who I used to get confused with Steve Guttenberg all the time is the guy from like Mad About You, who's now in Stranger Things. Is that
Paul Reiser?
Yes.
There you go.
I used to get him and Steve Guttenberg.
See how you can tell this is the first episode
Yeah.
we've done? Like, it's very crisp and we're kind of like doing it, like rattling off.
So overall, not bad. I didn't mind it.
If you're getting it at MSRP, I would absolutely suggest buying it. For no reason not to.
Other than to say you had one.
Yeah, that's right off the bat. But I mean, this one makes me immediately think if I see it next year or somebody calls me next year for the next one, I'm not going to think twice about it. I mean, you know, not that I would have before I had one, but I've drank one and I haven't drank something that I thought was horrible. And I'm going to be like, so if they call, I'll be like, well, how much is it? Because that was not worth that. But no, it is. It's a very light. It's maybe the lightest of the things that are kind of, you know, considered, what do you want to call them? Unicorns.
Sure.
Or something like that.
Yeah. No,
Limited releases.
Yep. It definitely has opened up a little bit since it originally opened it with the robes. So it is much better today than it was when I had it 3-4 weeks ago.
What do you think the difference was when you opened it as far as was it just...
I think it just
something.
It was almost like bitter. It had not been exposed to any air, so it was just straight burn. Now that it's been exposed a little bit,
Makes sense.
It's got those flavors have been brought out more. and you can actually taste them. Like before, I tried.
Right.
Maybe it was because we drank other things that day, but I tried to taste, the individual notes and things, and I just couldn't get there. I was like, this tastes just burny.
And I still am at the point where I would say it's just lighter flavors, like we were saying. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I taste apple or pear, but I know it's a lighter fruit. Mm-hmm. That's still where I'm at.
There's, I don't know, there's something to be said because the nose and the taste don't match. Like, they're very different.
I felt like they were...
Like, there's more of a fruit flavor, but there's more of a, you can smell the...
I didn't smell the fruit, though. I tasted the fruit more than I... Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. Okay, now I'm with them. Now we're right there. So, so we're going to try this one now.
Let's do it up.
For some reason, I was like... It's been a while, too. We haven't filmed it a month and a half, because holidays and all this stuff going on and whatnot.
It's true. These are
facts. And you had the flu or something too.
I did. I had a wicked flu. I have had both COVID and the flu, and I would rather have the flu.
All right, I have rinsed out, and there. And I'm not even like dropping the wood again.
So proud of you.
Dropping the wood.
Hashtag drop the wood.
Hashtag drop the wood. Oh Jesus.
So.
You know what? There you go.
Yeah, boy, Rufus. Go big or go home.
Right.
I'm home, so I guess I can just go big without any consequences.
That appears to be real wood. What's the other one? What's this? Is this wood or synthetic?
That is real. They're both real.
For real. For real. I assume this is a play on what? Shakespeare something? Wait, what's the...
A Midsummer Night's Dream.
There you go. Alright, see? There you go.
But they release two different things every year. They release the Midwinter and the Midsummer.
Oh, okay, cool. And you know what else? There's a distillery exclusive, because Jason did the mash and drum. He did this and the distillery exclusive, which is... But you can't. You gotta go to the fucking
distillery. Go to the distillery.
In Utah. Like, why would I ever go to Utah?
Mormons.
There you go. 10th edition Rendezvous Rye, finished in a combo of ruby and tawny port barrels.
Okay.
98.6. That's crazy ironic.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
is
exact
super
same
wild.
as this. I knew this was that because of the blood. But 4 to 7 years old. It's their Rendezvous Rye, their regular expression of Rendezvous Rye that they have. Mm-hmm. And then they finish it in the ruby and tawny port barrels. Dark fruits, great, darker, obviously, and it's almost all rye.
So ports are sweeter, so a rye finished in sweet stuff is going to be kind of interesting. And also, he pointed out when he got here that there's a lot of air bubbles in the actual glass itself.
Yeah, it's
and
like the Starry Night thing.
And so I was thinking that was more of a feature, not a bug, because it's like Midwinter Night's Dream. Like night would have lots of stars, that kind of thing. So that would make sense to me that is a feature, not a bug.
True.
But it's a really pretty bottle.
Yeah, I mean...
And the cork has had a little bit of shaping done to it. It's not just your straight up flat, square, whatever. So kind of cool.
Yeah, it's not. This one's the better packaging. Let's be honest. If you're just buying it, if you like the on your shelf look, it's this one. This is. I mean, to me, it's just a bottle. Yeah, it looks kind of like Shakespearean, etc. But I don't know. It's I don't know. But we're at the point now where a year and a half into filming and more than that of drinking it, that the packaging doesn't really matter as far as if I see something. It's like I gotta get that if I know what it is.
Right, or if it's good, I'm gonna I still.
Right.
It really upsets me. I just need to buy some freaking Wild Turkey 101. Right. I haven't bought it since I finished my bottle like 6 months ago. Because I keep finding stuff on the shelf that I'm like.
Right. I texted you the same
thing. It's so hard to
yesterday.
find this stuff, and I'm gonna have to get it.
As soon as I go there, I see something. I see a new Doc Swinson's on the shelf, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, no, I came here to get this.
The fucking French oak thing. Like, Jesse, you didn't even tell us you were bringing that out. We didn't even see that on the list of things that you showed us. No, and that just showed up on the shelf in New York. You son of a...
Yeah. Gun, you tricky guy, you. Anyway.
So I gotta buy that now.
That's right.
I just bought the freaking cask strength alter ego.
Yes, that was where I was headed too. Like, I didn't know they were gonna put out a cask strength of that. And
it's hard to keep up with this guy. He does too much.
It's probably impossible to keep up with him, to be completely honest.
That's fair. But I'm going to try, because he's a good dude.
He is. He's beyond, yeah. He's super, super nice guy. And I'm going to drink this, and then...
That's fair.
And I'm not going to...
Get a little snifter. I smell the sweet. I smell the sweet. I smell the rye. Not like I smell straight up grain. Like I smell the I definitely smell the sweet of the port.
Yeah, absolutely. I would think the nose would be a higher burn for 95 rye,
yeah.
So that finish might have really mellowed that out.
For sure.
And I don't know how long they finished it in that. That was not part of anything I saw or read. But yeah, it's. I had trouble, as he said a few minutes ago about the Blood Oath, when Hollywood and I opened this, we were just sitting there talking and shooting the breeze. It was Christmas Eve, and he was just stopping over for a few minutes. This, that, and the other. So I struggled in my head to try to, the bourbon barrel side of me, to be like, so what was I tasting? And like you were saying, and all I really came to was it felt a little hotter than I thought at the time. Didn't realize it was a rye, because I just hadn't done research. It was partying time.
Excellent.
You know what I mean? And but I thought I was trying to come up with that word for it. Like it was hot, but it wasn't burning me and feeling generic in that way. So now I think it was more rich and more just rye, like a rich rye sort of feel to it. So.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when you don't know what you're drinking.
Did you sip this?
Not yet, no,
okay.
But you can go for it.
Right.
But it's funny if you don't know what you're drinking, you think you're getting something and you get something completely different. You're like, what the hell? And then you're like, no, it's this. Like, oh,
right. And I wasn't about to do this with him at that point, so I hadn't done my research. I just knew I needed to grab that bottle. I put it on the shelf, and then he showed up, and he helps us with little things, like awesome things he finds on his travels. And I was like, well, let's just open it. It's cool. I mean, plus we have recently learned, not that long ago, that we like things that are opened up. We did
this
with
the rabbit hole.
Elijah Craig too, though. With the one that I had that was this much, and at the end of all those things, we picked the one that was the year old, that was like this much in the bottle, both of us, over the ones that we had opened. So airing out really,
it does.
That was an eye opener for me.
A whole different experience. So
yeah, it's crazy.
World of difference.
Well, let's go in.
Cheers.
I still love the Cheers theme song. It's easily one of my favorite theme songs to ever have a show.
Where everybody knows your name.
Yeah, it's still catchy. I still put it this way: if any show that I'll watch, like in the background, falling asleep or whatever, I won't fast forward when that part comes on. I'll just let that play because it's just soothing to me in some way, shape, or form.
So
anyway, okay. So let's go back to bourbons. So
yeah. For a rye, I enjoyed it. I definitely tasted the sweet notes.
10 times better than when I opened it. That's another thing. 10 times better.
Excellent.
Because that might have been the I hate saying smooth, but the smoothest rye I've ever had, ever. Yeah. And I understand it's only 98.6, so we're not getting into the higher rye, proof points, but that's really, really yummy.
I tasted almost no burn. There was warmth on the back end, and I definitely tasted those port cask finishes.
Yeah,
the sweetness came through on the front of the tongue.
The warm, it hugged.
Blended very well because I'd be hard pressed to tell you that there was rye spice in there other than the nose. Now I know we're finished. It's finished, but I don't know. But I'll say this about this bottle: it's not the thing I'm going to be drinking through. You know what I mean? It's one of those things I'll put it back on the shelf because I've got a few of those. You've got a few of those. You don't just open them unless it's a special occasion or whatever. Sure.
Anyway, we should do this again with some other ryes because I feel like this might be my favorite rye right off the bat. Now we haven't done a ton of them, so I'm not really making some grand like, oh my god, it's the best thing we've had since we started. Like we've got 60, 80 episodes on YouTube, but
Jesus, it's been that long
in total. So, but this one I would love to put up against some of the other ones, and any other ones.
Whistle Pig 10 back there, and
I almost grabbed something else, and I can't remember what it was. But anyway, sorry.
No, that's fine.
That was my head just.
But yeah,
this was wonderful.
This was a fun episode to do because these are things that are hard to find. We don't have. I've never owned a bottle of Blood Oath, and lo and behold, now I own two.
Yeah. And I never owned a bottle of this.
Yeah, I've never seen a bottle of that in real life until today.
Yeah. I need to talk to that same guy and say next year can I be on the list when they drop it off. If they dropped it off this year and there was no list, I guess essentially, then I want to be the first on the list, and maybe next year that automatically means I probably need to stop there more I'm just never that way. He's a little out of the way of where I live. That's the only. He's a nice guy. Him and his wife come in all the time. Finches. There you go. See, it's awesome. They're nice people. Anyway, nonetheless. But yeah, yummy, and for MSRP, I'd say thumbs up to both. If you get it for that.
Would recommend.
Wouldn't even stop for a second and say no, unless I was broke.
So yeah, there it is. Yep. And with that, I'm Nate.
And I'm Rox.
And this has been The Bourbon Barrel! For those of you youngins out there, there is this app called TikTok.
That's
I'm
right.
not sure if you're familiar.
Uh-oh.
But there's this guy on TikTok who's pretending he's like an 80s mobile business guy with like the old cell phone.
Right.
And he comes, he's like, yeah, you want a theme song for this? Or like, and then he goes into the studio, or the studio's like, we need something that doesn't have to slap real hard, but it's about these like little monsters. It's like talking like Pokemon. It's like, they have like special abilities. And then the guys just like are dressed up in like old 80s windbreakers and like the shitty sunglasses. And they like start like doing the synthesizer keyboard for Pokemon. And it's like, I wanna be. It's like just like they go so hard to do the theme song. And it's so funny. And I'm sure there's probably one for Cheers.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh my god. Oh, and Kirstie Alley just died, and rest in peace.
Wait, what?
Kirstie Alley died like a month ago. She died of cancer. It was a big. Yeah, Kirstie Alley passed away. Colon cancer or something?
Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley, yeah, from Cheers.
My fat actress.
Yeah, she died a month ago. Right before Christmas.
I know the other woman died.
Oh no, it's Kirstie Alley. She's gone. Rest in peace.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's news.
I don't know how I just, like, we were just bourboning, but we did Cheers, and I was like, yeah. You know,
I don't remember that.
But I didn't realize that I should have, but I started watching the show, and then I started reading stuff, and, you know, like, Woody comes in season 3 or something, right? Because Coach actually died in real life after season 2 or whatever. But yeah, Kirstie passed, so.
I did not know that. I knew that the other woman that is in the show that was Sam's love interest there died.
Diane?
Yeah.
Did she really?
Yeah.
I don't think she did. Shelley
Long?
Long.
Yeah, she died.
You sure?
I thought she died. I didn't hear anything on Kirstie Alley. I'm pretty sure Shelley Long was the one that died.
I gotta find out if Shelley Long died. I know Kirstie Alley
I don't
died.
know about Kirstie Alley.
Shelley Long.
Gonna learn today.
There you
All
go,
right.
Shelley Long.
Just have to edit this.
No, she's 73. She's still alive. It's Kirstie Alley. You just mixed them up. That's all.
How do you mix them up? They look nothing alike.
No, I mean, I meant like, you probably just heard the actress from Cheers.
She died in December 5th?
Yeah, and she's 73, Shelley Long. She's still alive.
She died.
No, you just got them inside out.
Wow.
It's not like during Christmas time you're focusing on Cheers.
No,
so
you know what happened? I've fallen through I'm in a different timeline now.
Are you?
This is what happened.
This is what happens with the multiverse. Thanks, Marvel.
No, it's not multiverse. It's just freaking ridiculous. This is bullshit. I know. I saw an article that said Shelley Long died of cancer or some shit.
No,
it wasn't Kirstie Alley. This is a different timeline. This is a different one.
Listen.
I don't know who's screwing with time, but stop it.
It's probably Tom Cruise's Iron Man. He's coming for you.
Yeah.
So I just watched that Maverick movie last night, and I've never seen Top Gun. I'm 47 years old. I've never seen Top Gun. The first one. Yeah.
This is very good.
So yeah. Did you watch that Maverick movie?
Never.
Did you watch the first one when we were kids? Original Top Gun?
Yeah.
Okay. Both my son and my wife said, you don't really need to see the first one to watch this one.
That's fair.
Just its own movie. And I watched it and they were right and it was a great movie. And I was like, wow. Tom Cruise is that guy who I like movies despite him.
That's true. Like, I've heard it's a very, very good movie.
Yeah, it was good. I was like, oh.
Do they play Danger Zone?
Yeah.
Ah, that's good.
They also have an ocean football game.
Interesting.
Because when that started happening, my wife was like, I knew they would do that scene again, blah, blah, blah.
So they pay homage to the first one, but not in a way that's detrimental to the plot if you haven't seen it.
Should I give a spoiler? It's already out there. It's been out for like weeks.
Maybe we do that off camera.
All right,
so not to ruin
fine.
people's lives.
Fine.
Do timeline switching.
God. Anyway,